Hello there, welcome to Self-Paced Ukulele. This first video is going to assume that you know nothing about the instrument and have never played an instrument before. So we're going to start by identifying the parts of the ukulele, talking about the names of the strings, and about tuning. Starting right at the top, we have the headstock. And attached to the headstock are the tuners. Notice that there is one tuner per string. And you should know, if you've never tuned before, that if you turn the peg counterclockwise, you're going to tighten the string and make the pitch go higher. And if you turn the peg clockwise, it loosens the tension on the string, making the pitch go lower. Next, we have the nut. The nut holds the strings in place and guides them to each tuner. It also stops the string and it allows it so that you can play the strings by themselves and get sound. Next, we have the fretboard, which of course houses the frets. Fret 1 is closest to the nut. Then from there you would see fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, fret 5, etc. Next we have the body. This is a resonance chamber, and part of it is the sound hole, which allows pressure to release from that body. Attached to the top of the ukulele, we have the bridge, and that's where you tie your strings, and it also determines the other end point of the string from the nut. So the distance between the nut and the bridge determines the overall length of the string. Let's review. We have the headstock, the fretboard, the body, the tuners, the nut, frets, sound hole, and the bridge. So the first string we're going to talk about on this diagram furthest to the left is string number 4, and its letter name is G. You will always see a number with a circle representing a string number. So 4 with a circle around it, string number 4. And it has the letter name or the pitch of G. Take a look at the staff to the right of the ukulele and you'll notice there's 2 sets of lines. The top lines are what we call standard notation, and the bottom lines are tablature. Don't worry about the standard notation right now. We're going to learn more about that later. The tablature is much easier to read for beginners. The bottom line of that tablature, and you'll notice there are 4 lines on the tab, one for each string of your ukulele. That bottom line will always represent string number 4. When a 0 is written on a line, it means to play the string by itself. And when you do this, it's said to be an open string. So that 0 is telling you you could play the string just by itself, open. If you have a ukulele with a low G as string number 4, it will have the same number and it'll have the same letter name. So it's still 4, circle, G. But now take a look at the standard notation, and you'll notice that the note is much lower on the staff. It's actually below the staff now. Take a look again at the other G, and you can see that one is higher up, and it's on the second line from the bottom of the staff. Back to the low G, now you can see that note has moved. The tab has not changed. It's still expressed the same way as a 0 on that bottom line. This is what we call an octave. The ukulele with the low G would have a G that is an octave lower than a standard ukulele where that G is an octave higher. Next we have string 3. Its letter name is C. And again, take a look to the staff at the right. The tab now has a 0 on the second line from the bottom. This line always represents string number 3, and once again the 0 is telling us that we can play that string open. So just the string by itself is called C, and that's string number 3. Next we have string number 2, proper name, letter name, note name, E. And you can see that's the third line up from the bottom. Once again, with a 0, we're playing the open E string. And finally, we have string number 1, note name A. You can see that the 0 in the tab is on the top line now. So let's review the strings. We have string 4, it's called G, and it can either be a low or a high octave. We have string 3 called C, string 2 called E, and string 1 called A. String numbers are always shown as a number with a circle. And if you need to get strings, or if you want to try a set of strings with a low G, or maybe you have a low G and you want to try a set with a high G, I put a link in the video description, and if you click on it, it'll take you right to the store where you can buy a set of strings. Take a look at this 88 key keyboard. The keys furthest to the left are lowest in pitch, and as you go left to right, they progressively get higher. The 3 with the circle, representing string number 3, is showing you where that third string C sits on the typical piano keyboard. Let's zoom in. Now we have all 4 strings labeled, and what I want you to pay attention to is the order of the strings. Notice that string 3 is the lowest string. That's for a standard tuning ukulele. The 4th string is not the lowest in pitch, and we can see that that is higher in pitch than both strings 3 and 2, only lower than string 1. This is what we call re-entrant tuning, meaning it doesn't go low to high 4, 3, 2, 1. Other instruments such as the vihuela and the banjo also use this tuning. If you do have the 4th string with a low G on your ukulele, then you will have string 4 being the lowest sounding pitch. And in that case, 4, 3, 2, 1 is low to high. Still the same letter name, just a different octave. If you have some experience tuning by ear and matching pitch, tuning from a piano can be quite easy now that you know where the strings line up with the keys on the keyboard. If you're new to this, however, that can be very difficult. And what I would recommend is to get some sort of electronic tuner. The one that I love is called a snark, and it clips on to your headstock. And it's really nice because it doesn't have a microphone. It senses the vibration. When you play a string, it will register what it's hearing through the vibration. And in real time, as you turn the peg to make the string go higher or lower, you can actually see on the readout what's happening. So if you want to tune string 3, that C, you can pluck that string, and if the readout is showing left of center in the red zone, you know that you're too low. And if it's right in the center, it'll go kind of that green-blue, you know you're perfectly in tune. And if you go a little bit too far past that, then you'll be in the yellow zone, and you know that you're too sharp. So you can see this as you turn the peg, and it's a really nice way for tuning the ukulele. The other thing that's great about this is you could be in a situation where there's other people making noise around you, other instruments, other pitches, and it won't hear any of those other noises. It'll only pick up the vibration of your instrument. So you could be in a group session and tune your ukulele and not worry about the tuner getting confused by the other pitches going on around you. So in review for tuning, just know that a standardly strung ukulele does not have string 4 as the lowest string. We use re-entrant tuning. And if you've never tuned before, an electronic tuner such as the snark is a really great way to get going, and you can tune visually until you develop a better ear and can do it without a tuner. I've put a link for the snark in the description, so if you want to just click on that, you can go and see where to find one.